Are we now setting up for the biggest bull run in Bitcoin's history? Or is all of this news with regards to BlackRock and Bitcoin ETFs just a setup? Is it just a buy the rumor, sell the news event? I'm going to discuss that in this video. As a lot of you will know who have been following the news with regards to Bitcoin's ETF, BlackRock's application, initially in June 2023, is still under review by the SEC. And it's not only BlackRock, there's several other companies have also applied for Bitcoin ETFs. A lot of these companies have until absolute deadlines of March 14th, March 15th, 2024. So we have a good few months. The first thing to note, we saw it with XRP. So let me just show you on a chart. This spike up here, this temporary spike up, which was only a half an hour spike, was due to basically false news regards to an ETF approval with XRP. Now, this just shows you how sensitive the market is to news like this. News like this can definitely pump the market quickly, but also it can potentially call a market top. We've seen this over the last few years where there's been some really bullish news, for example, from Coinbase, that rather than being a catalyst for upwards movement, it was actually a top in the making. So you have to be aware of that. It's actually the rumor as we go towards approval and we pass many different stages of approval that can really help pump up the price as well. So we're very sensitive of what will happen with these ETFs. Now, where are we in terms of actually the application? When you actually have a search online for the timelines for these decisions, you can see that some places it varies. Some places are saying they should have already kind of made a decision about this. Some saying it could be March 2024. You just have to kind of keep an eye on the news here. But you can see here, even afterwards, the actual launch might only occur the following year. So we might get that quick boost. But it's only when these ETFs actually launch that it could really help the cryptocurrency market in general, and it can bring a lot of kind of liquidity inflows into the system. And I think that will be massive for a new bull run. So when we map these out on the chart, if we have a look at the Bitcoin price now, you can see it's consolidating. However, I mean, the chance after such a steep rise of a dump in Bitcoin price is decent. The chance of that is decent right now. We may get a push to 40,000 first, or we may just dump from here. It's quite possible this could happen, especially as we don't really expect any massive bullish news soon in the horizon, unless the SEC suddenly change and move forward quickly with making some decisions. But if we actually map it out on a daily chart, so on a daily chart, if we zoom out here, we can see Bitcoin's been on a good run from October going into November now, and the price is up from, let's call it from 12th of October, we're up around 40 to 45%, which is very significant for Bitcoin in such a short period of time. But you have to understand as well, a lot of this, if you want to think about a fundamental reason why we might be higher, is basically general sentiment with regards to these ETFs and the probability of them being approved. And from my experience with the crypto market, one thing I already know that we might be able to factor into this somehow. One thing I already know is on the day of actual approval, of these ETFs, if it does happen, and it's quite likely at some point it will happen, I can't really see any strong arguments they have against this. When we get it approved on the day, that will, in my opinion, mark some sort of local top in the market. That's just how it works. On that day, where all the retail people will suddenly flood in and think, now's the time to get into cryptocurrency, it's already pumping, clearly it's going to do really well, there's all really good news. And at that point, Bitcoin will be wherever. It could be at 40K, 50K, wherever it is. That will be a local top, in my opinion. And then things will drag down. And then people will get bored of it again. And then that will be the beginning of the bull market and the next move upwards. That's when we'll get people accumulating, well, the smart money anyway, accumulating. And then slowly during that accumulation phase, I think that's when the actual ETFs will be live and people can start actually investing in the ETFs. If that's the case, one thing I'm looking for here is the price not to be consolidating at the top, but for us to have a sudden sharp push, even at local tops, local meaning along the way, significant areas, significant swing highs and swing lows. So let me show you an example of that. Usually with cryptocurrency, the tops, you don't tend to see price kind of going sideways at the top. You get V-shaped tops. And here's a local one to give you an example. So we had a local one on January 21st, 2021, where we hit the 40,000 mark. And notice with Bitcoin, especially, It never really stops at those psychological levels. It always peaks its head above. Again, a lot of people probably invest after the 40K point and then suddenly turns on its head and pushes way down. And in this particular case, the retracement was 30 to 35%, which is typical for cryptocurrency in general. So these local tops, that's what I think we're moving towards now. And for a local top to happen, I think we need to get one more vertical rise up, which sucks everybody in. And I think that's yet to happen with current price action at the moment. So on a daily chart, in terms of where we are now, yes, we had this little bit of a run up, but nothing too significant. And we're consolidating right now. But one argument is that we consolidate, maybe a short pullback back to support, but we get something more vertical. And that will mark a local top, maybe more than people were expected, because the market always moves towards maximum pain. And given the recent run, a lot of people might be thinking, well, it's time for a pullback, we need to push back and stuff like that. And what will cause more pain is Bitcoin running to near 50,000 and then trapping a lot of longs there and liquidating a lot of the shorts. That's probably what's going to cause maximum pain. So I have a feeling that's where we get to a top. Lots and lots of good news along the way. And then actually the top may be, like I said, an early minor approval or something of one of these ETFs. And then we would get a massive correction, which can last weeks to months, where price will grind down. That's how I think things are going to go. So just be very, very careful with BlackRock and these other firms like Grayscale and where we are in terms of these kind of applications. But also don't get bogged down in it. For example, with XRP and the SEC issues they've had, which has been rumbling on for years and years, a lot of people have just been wasting time sitting in XRP, hoping for the court case outcome to be favorable, and then suddenly we'll get some massive boom and XRP will go from nothing all the way up to $10. Yes, we can potentially go on bullish runs with XRP, but cryptocurrency doesn't work that way. Very likely it'll be all of the rumors of a win, and then the final couple of days after the declaration of a win, we may get a run up to $2 or something like that. But then that really is a time to sell, not a time to buy, to be honest. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.